Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So this video is in response to an article that I saw yesterday on The Root. It was an article about a white reality TV star by the name of Ariana Bellamar. And this woman put out a tweet on Tuesday calling Van Jones a house nigger. She called him a house nigger because he basically made some statements about Donald Trump's tax returns. Donald Trump's tax returns for 2005 have been released to the media. And basically Van Jones pointed out how there's no smoking gun. And he pointed out how these tax returns actually make Donald Trump look good because Donald Trump paid like $38 million in taxes. Also, it's worth noting that a few weeks ago when Donald Trump addressed Congress, Van Jones heaped praise upon Donald Trump. He called Donald Trump presidential and this and that. And a lot of people had criticized Van Jones for those comments. So because of those two situations, this woman, Ariana Bellamar, had the nerve to call his brother a house nigger. And this whole little tweet like epitomizes the white liberal racist mentality. I mean, often many of these white liberals are just as racist as white conservatives. They just express their racism in other kinds of ways. First of all, this brother Van Jones is not a house nigger. That's number one. He simply made an observation about those tax returns, which is obvious and clear. You know, no one has said that there's anything negative that came out of those tax returns. Nobody. I haven't heard one commentator mention anything negative about those tax returns. So that's one thing. You know, do I think his statements about Donald Trump being presidential were over the top? Yeah, I think they were over the top. But that's far from him being a coon or being a house nigger. So that's the first thing. So I just wanted to address the substantive statement. You know, he's not a house nigger. He's not the house Negro that Malcolm X talked about. This brother often speaks out on social justice issues. He's often speaks out on racism and all that kind of stuff. So to call him a house nigger is wrong. You know, it's just flat out wrong just based on what a house nigger is. The second thing is this. I mean, and the most important thing is this. I mean, the fact that this woman thinks that it is appropriate for her to call any black person a nigger just speaks volumes about her racist mentality. It is never acceptable for a white person to call any black person a nigger. It's never acceptable. The term nigger is a racist slur, period. It's a racist term that was used to degrade, humiliate, and dehumanize black people. And when a white person uses that term towards a black person, that's exactly what they're doing. Degrading, humiliating, and dehumanizing black people. It's never acceptable. And the problem is in this society, because you hear the word so often, you hear a lot of black people use the word. You know, you hear it in the music, you hear it on television, you hear it in these videos. People tend to think that they have a license to use that word. They think that it is all right for them to now use the word nigger. It's never acceptable for white people to use it. And I really think that our people need to stop using it as well because of the legacy of the word, because of how it was used. But, you know, the fact that this woman would have the nerve to be able to feel like she was entitled to call this brother a nigger, to feel like she has the right to tell this brother how to behave, what it means to be black. It just speaks to that patronizing, racist mentality that a lot of these so-called white liberals have. They think that they know what's best for black people. This woman thinks that she can define what a real black person is. She thinks that she has the power to define who is a house Negro and who is not a house Negro. I mean, this is the kind of mentality that these people have. They have a God complex. They think that they get to define everybody else's reality. And I really just think it's sickening. And these kinds of white, liberal, racist parasites need to be called out for what they are. They need to be condemned. You know, this is just like the most blatant example of this. But you often, you know, see these white liberals, they're all patronizing. I mean, this woman was patronizing in her tweet. She was saying, well, he's smart, he's this, he's that. He knows better, he shouldn't be a house nigga, basically. Like, she's going to tell him what kind of positions he should have on issues. She's going to define who's a house nigga and who's not. I just think that it is, it's just sickening. It's just sickening that you had these patronizing, racist-ass white people thinking that they had the power to define who we are. So I just had to get this off my chest. You know, I'll post links in the video in the description box of the article so you can read it for yourself. And you know, I just hope that this woman has some repercussions. You know, I hope that people actually express their outrage. And I hope that this affects her financially. I mean, when people disrespect black people, there need to be economic consequences for doing so. And I'm not even familiar with this woman. I just found out about her, you know, when I read this article. I never heard of her in my life until I read this article. But, you know, if she's still on that reality show, I think that the producers of the show need to receive complaints from the public. They need to understand that the public will not tolerate this. So those are my thoughts about this. Tell me what you think. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Peace.